Hey class, today we're going to be doing a tour of the Earth to look at all the different biomes that Mother Earth offers us. The first place that I want to take us is where we live. And we live in the deciduous forest or temperate forest. And the temperate forest is has 4 distinct seasons. As you know, if you've ever lived in Arkansas for an extended amount of time, you can sometimes have all 4 seasons within the same week. We have hot summers, cold winters, and then mild, cool springs and falls. Um, the soil here is very nutrient rich, and it is an area with a lot of trees, obviously. So let's just take a quick zoom in here. And this is a little bit to the east of us because while we do have remnants of the deciduous forest, a lot of it has been cut down and removed because of development. So just some areas here. Let's see if I can get that a little more in our screen here. But as you can see, we have beautiful landscape, a lot of trees. The trees lose their leaves in the winter to conserve water. We have a lot of biodiversity, although this is not the most diverse biome. And our animals here hibernate during the winter in order to save on food, and they also store food for the winter. So the next place that I am going to take you is our closest neighboring biome, and that is the grasslands. So when we think of the grasslands, we typically think of Iowa, Nebraska, Kansas. So it receives moderate amounts of rainfall. It has very fertile soils. A lot of times, if you go in these areas, the soil almost looks black, and that's what makes it good for farming. So you probably have all heard of this area being called the breadbasket of America, and that is because it provides a lot of our uh, food, not just for our country, but for other countries as well. So here's a view of what a lot of these grasslands look like. The next place that I will take you is the desert, and we are going to actually go to the Grand Canyon. And while this particular computer does not have the latest Adobe flash drive, hopefully yours does, and you guys can watch this video. It's from the Smithsonian, and it's just some really interesting facts about the Grand Canyon. But just some facts about the desert is it has the least amount of biodiversity. We can even see just from this area here, there's just not a lot of green. There's not a lot of grass, there's not a lot of trees, plants, and so on. The plants that are here, they store the water in leaves and stems, so we obviously think of cacti. And the animals here are nocturnal. They come out at night because it's very hot during the day, but what some people don't realize is that it also gets very cold at night. The soil here is not very good for organism plants growing. That's because it does have a lot of minerals, but it does not have a lot of organic matter, and you need that in order to grow. And organic matter comes from things dying, and when there's not a lot of things there living in the first place, not a lot of things are going to die either. So the next biome that we will visit is the taiga. And when we think of taiga, we think northern Americas, things like Alaska and Canada. And here we receive moderate rainfall. They have cold winters, short, mild summers, but the soil is nutrient poor. That's because we have a lot of coniferous trees. They don't need a lot of minerals, a lot of organic matter, and they actually don't like a lot of things growing around them. They like to be alone, and whenever they drop those pine needles it makes the soil around them acidic, and not a lot of organisms or plants can grow on this. But those pine needles do serve their purpose. They help conserve water, and since this is an area that receives little rainfall, that is something, an adaptation that they need. And some animal adaptations is that they have a protective layer of fat. So we think of like bears and moose. Next, we are going to visit the coldest biome. This has the least biodiversity. As you can tell, it's pretty barren. It has a low amount of rainfall. And the plants that you guys do see here, you'll notice that they are small and close to the ground. You don't get much other variety besides that. Some animal adaptations is they have thick furs as well in order to stay warm. But we obviously think of places like Antarctica and Greenland whenever we think of tundra. And the last place that we are going to visit is the Amazon forest, or the tropical rainforest. Here we find our greatest biodiversity. There's hundreds and hundreds of thousands of different species of plants and animals that we find here, and people are constantly finding new ones every day. It receives the most rainfall, is hot and wet year round. But something important to realize about the rainforest is that it is threatened by habitat destruction. A lot of the land is being cultivated for growth. This part of the country is growing rapidly, or for farmlands in order to feed the population growth. So I would really encourage you guys to check out this website and see what exactly deforestation is and ways that you can get involved and help. So that is the end of our biomes tour around the world, and I hope you guys enjoyed it.